What is going on, Nitrosites? It is your boy, the Nitro General here, and welcome back to week 7 of the NPBA, the final week of the regular season, and yeah, against the Seatown Chiyu and Coach Lancey Poo. Now we have solidified a bye for this week, or for the league, so we won't have to play in playoffs either way. This week is big for me because if I win it, we guarantee the #1 spot in the league. If we lose it and the #1 team loses as well, I do believe that we might still be the #1, but if he wins, then we're the #2 team. But not that it really matters. Lancey Poo, I think, is already guaranteed a playoff spot, or it might be close. But he won last season. He was the #1 team last season. He got the bye. He won. I'm incredibly scared to fight him. He's got a super threatening team. But before we get into his team, if you guys are excited for this, I would really appreciate it if you guys would hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. All that good stuff so you do not miss the final battle. We are already we have guaranteed made it to semifinals, which is just incredibly awesome. Incredibly awesome. So yeah. There should be some text floating on screen somewhere to tell you when the battle starts. I'd really appreciate if you guys would check out the pregame press conference and the team builder so you know why I'm bringing it and you won't be so confused. It would really helps out my watch time. So, yeah. But without further ado, guys, let's get into his team. He's got an incredibly scary team that consists of Petrarunt, Rillaboom, Sneasler, Hisuian Electrode, Illumise, Low Kicks, Cleavor, Appleton, Hisuian Samurott, Kieran Black, and Riolu. Now, he had Incineroar before he had Petrarunt, but when Petrarunt came out, I placed it in Tier 1 because I did not feel like I could place it in any other tier, especially right now, when it first came out, because I didn't know what it did. But it's it was incredibly scary. You know, getting access to, like, its one move there that has, like, a really big chance to poison, as well as, you know, getting access to, like, Hex, because with that, Shadow Ball, all that stuff. Rillaboom, obviously really scary. We fought the Thwacky team last week. We're fighting the Rillaboom team this week. Obviously, Grassy Glide is incredibly scary for our team, especially with Ursaluna. He's got a really good team against Ursaluna, so spoiler alert, we're not bringing Ursaluna this week. But yeah, Grassy Glide's incredibly scary. Drain Punch, Knockoff, Stopping Tantrum, Wood Hammer, all that kind of stuff. It's just really scary in general. And with the Grassy Terrain, it does give him healing. Sneasler, obviously, you can go like normal gem fake out. He can go Grassy Seed, anything to get his Unburden boost, double his speed, and then just click Dire Claws, having the chance for sleeping, poison, close combat, drain punch, bulk up, all that kind of stuff, toxic spikes. Yeah, so then he has Hisuian Electrode. Hisuian Electrode is definitely just a super big threat. That thing is so blistering fast, and getting access to Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Thunder, Chloroblast, all that kind of stuff. It's definitely Leaf Storm is definitely a big threat. Illumise is a little bit more of a threat than you would think it is. Prankster is the ability that obviously he's got 2 Pokemon with. I don't foresee it coming, but he could bring it. It does get access to all of those Prankster type moves, so that thing could be a little bit of an issue. Low Kicks, I don't know if he's brought it at all this season, and I don't even know if it'll come. Obviously, the only thing I can think of is like First Impression, Leech Life. I think he gets like Axe Kick. I really wasn't concerned about this Pokemon. Cleavor is another Pokemon that I was a little scared of. Getting access to Stone Axe for free rocks, as well as like X Scissor. Sharpness is a really great ability. All that kind of stuff is just a really big threat, so we do have to worry about that. Appleton is a sleeper Pokemon, and Lancey Poo is 100% the best user of Appleton ever, right? Appleton is the biggest threat to our team. And it's just, or not the biggest threat to our team, but it's just a huge threat. And it's the biggest threat in Lancey Poo's hands. It is one of his Terra Captains with, like, I think Fairy, Dragon, and Ice, maybe. but it's just very, very, very good. Very bulky, getting access to like Recovery, Leech Seed, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Apple Acid, all that kind of stuff. The Ceruledge Samurai, obviously, Ceaseless Edge, gets up spikes. Aqua Cutter does get access to Liquidation. It also gets Sharpness. So the Aqua Cutter would be the move. It does get access to Aqua Jet, stuff like that, knockoff, so you have to worry about that. Kieran Black is hands down the scariest member of his entire team. Obviously, it's just such a big threat with Icicle Spear, Dragon Dance. Could be a loaded dice set this generation. Dragon Dance, Icicle Spear, Dragon Claw, all that kind of stuff. Riolu is another sleeper Pokemon that you never want to worry about. Or never want to worry about, never want to not worry about is what I'm trying to say. Does get access to all those Prankster type moves. Fun fact, I went into this battle assuming that Riolu got access to Taunt. The entire battle, I thought Riolu had Taunt, right? I thought it got access to Taunt, it doesn't. So it's definitely not that big of a threat because of that, but it is still something that we have to worry about. But that is his team. Let's get into the team that I'm bringing. All right, guys. So this is the team we are bringing against Lancey Poo, coach of the Seatown Chi-Yu, for our last week of the NPBA. Well, the regular season of the NPBA. So yeah, we have Snow Warning, Light Clay, Ninetales to start it off with Aurora Veil, Ice Beam, Moonblast, and Protect. Max speed, max special attack with a modest nature. This thing I wanted to be a little bit more offensive this week. Ice Beam, I don't really care to run Freeze Dry this week. It doesn't really matter since the only one that it really hits that I would really care about is Hisuian Samurai. And we do have Ice Beam to be able to hit Rillaboom. Ice Beam hits Appleton, also hits Electrode. Then we have Moonblast that hits Kyurem, that's what it hits. I was like, oh crap, that really doesn't do very much against his team. Kyurem and the Hisuian Samurai hits, and Riolu, and Appleton, so I guess it does hit most of it. And then Protect, just in case he does want to go for like a Dire Claw or something directly into that. So we are running the Light Clay. I mean, obviously, Aurora Veil Light Clay has been insane for us this entire season, so we're going to bring it. We have Ogerpon Cornerstone because this is the biggest Pokemon that we need to take on the Kyurem. We are running a max attack, adamant set with also max speed, remaining 4 in HP. This thing is pretty fast. It doesn't outspeed, obviously, the Electrode. I don't think it outspeeds Sneasler as well, so we do have to worry about that. And we are running Ivy Cudgel, Spiky Shield, Power Whip, and Zen Headbutt. Ivy Cudgel obviously hits the Kyurem. That's the biggest one. Also hits, like, Pecharunt as well. Then we have Spiky Shield so that we don't have to worry about stuff like a Grassy Glide or Rillaboom to try to pick us off, or even like any of his other physical attackers that want to come into it. Power Whip hits the Hisuian Samurai, so he doesn't think he can just come in with that. As well as we have Zen Headbutt to be able to hit the Sneasler in case that we try to call a switch. Zen Headbutt allows us to hit it for 4 times super effective damage. So then we have Ceruledge this week, guys, with Life Orb. Weak Armor we're actually bringing for once since he doesn't have a fire type. With Bitter Blade, Poltergeist, Destiny Bond, and Will-O-the-Wisp. Bitter Blade allows us to hit the Rillaboom, Electrode, the Kyurem, Appleton for neutral. Poltergeist hits every single one of his Pokemon on his team for unresisted damage except for Samurai. Destiny Bond, because we are running a Jolly Nature this week, we have speed a lot of Pokemon. Destiny Bond would actually be good if we do want to do that. And then Will-O-the-Wisp, if we can Wisp the Kyurem, that would be big. Or the Rillaboom, or even the Sneasler, or anything like that. Even the Axe Hand guy, whatever, Cleavor. Yeah, so we have that. So we have Max Attack, Jolly Nature is what I'm trying to say. Then we got Ambipom. We're bringing back, we have Silk Scarf Technician, Fake Out, Double Hit, Aerial Ace, Thief, Max Attack, Adamant Nature with Max Speed as well, remaining 4 in HP. So this thing, obviously Fake Out's just really good. Double Hit hits every single one of his Pokemon except for Pecharunt. Aerial Ace hits the Rillaboom. It hits the Riolu. It hits the Illumise. And the Sneasler. So, and then Thief allows us to hit the Pecharunt because, again, I'd be damned if I put myself in a situation where I can't hit a Pokemon. If it comes down to Ambipom and Petra, and I do not have a move to hit Petra, I would be incredibly irritated. So I have to bring Thief for my peace of mind. Then Noivern is coming back to the team, guys, with Expert Belt Frisk. Frisk is really good, so we can see the items. So we got Tailwind, Air Slash, Draco Meteor, and Roost, right? Tailwind is just good for us, so we can guarantee outspeed a lot of his Pokemon. Air Slash hits Rillaboom, hits the Sneasler, hits the Appleton, hits the Riolu, Low Kicks, Elamise. Draco Meteor is just really good. Hits the Kyurem for neutral damage and hits Appleton for super effective. And Roost is so we can get the healing back. We are running a max special attack, max speed, remaining 4 in HP with a modest nature. So, yeah. And then we have Espeon here with Magic Bounce. I thought this thing is just really good just for the Sneasler specifically. But this allows him so he cannot go for... I actually don't know if it blocks the rocks and spikes from Ceruledge and Stone Axe, but I know it would block like Toxic Spikes. But really, I just didn't feel like Synchronized was going to be the best, and it only gets Synchronized and Magic Bounce, so I felt Magic Bounce would probably be better. Psychic obviously hits the Sneasler and the Riolu. Helping Hand is good for our team. Shadow Ball hits the Petulant, and Calm Mind if we need to boost. With the leftovers, I think is actually pretty cool. We're running max special attack, max HP this week, so with remaining 4 in speed, we're not really looking for a super fast Espeon. Special attack, though, that 394 special attack is really, really scary. So, that is the team, guys. Let's get into the battle. Alright, guys, so here we are in the battle. We have Sneasler, Rillaboom, Kyurem Black, Appleton, the Electrode, and the Riolu on his side, which means that Petulant did not show up, which is fine with me. If I remember right, I led with the Ninetales and the Ceruledge, I believe. I was a little afraid. Okay, no, I did not lead with Ninetales because I figured he was going to lead Riolu to Taunt, because that was when I assumed that Riolu had Taunt or could get Taunt, but it can't. So we led Ceruledge and Noivern. That's what it was. Yep, so we frisked and found the Focus Sash on Sneasler, as well as the Assault Vest on Rillaboom. I think the Focus Sash Sneasler is not a great item to have on it, because if I don't one-shot the Sneasler, its Focus Sash just sits there and it doesn't prop, so it can use Unburden. So I feel like that was just a really, really weird item to have on Sneasler, but I was fine with it. So he gets aggressive, train up. We go for the Toxic Spikes, which is incredibly ballsy, just because of the fact that I have an Espeon that hits Sneasler for 4 times super effective. I almost brought out Espeon here too, but I was like, there's no way he goes for Toxic Spikes. This dude brought Toxic Spikes against the Espeon. That's so crazy to me, right? Like the cojones on this dude. But we do go for the Air Slash, and it does hit his Focus Sash, so it does prop the Unburden. And then we go for the Bitter Blade into Rillaboom, and we just get the KO, which is kind of crazy. So I actually could not believe that he let us do that, but I guess he really couldn't switch anything else in, because everything else would take a lot of damage as well. So he then goes onto Appleton. This is a little bit of a time where I kind of wish I had Shadow Sneak on Ceruledge, but we don't. So he goes for a Toxic Spikes for a second time. I almost brought Espeon out again, but I was like, nah, no way. Well, 1 layer, that's kind of crazy. But 2 layers, there's no way. There's no way. When I have a Magic Bounce Pokemon in the back, there's no way he goes for 2 layers. The dude went for 2 layers. How? Why? It makes no sense to me. And I'm like, I should have just brought Espeon out and called it. That would be insane. But we get the Draco off on Appleton, and we just KO it, which again is really crazy. And we somehow are still faster than Sneasler, which means that it's probably not Unburden. It was probably Poison Touch. Or Pressure, but more likely... No, it wouldn't have been Pressure because we would have seen it. So Poison Touch it was probably. So now he goes into... Now he has 3 Pokemon left. We still have 6 Pokemon. He goes into the Kyurem and the Riolu. Here I'm really, really, really scared in general. So he goes for a Coaching on Kyurem, which is an insane tech, right? I had to give him props for this, because at this point in the battle, I was shitting myself. I was like, there's no way I may get swept by this Kyurem. But we get the Tailwind off, which is really nice. We get the Bitter Blade in, which only does 37%, which is not that great. And he goes for an Icicle Spear and takes out Noivern without even one. So now we can easily come in with Ninetales here. Again, did not want to go for an Aurora Veil because I was afraid that it would go for a taunt. Again, when I thought Riolu had taunt, but it doesn't even get access to it. So now I can hit, it goes for a Bullet Punch into Ninetales, which is 4 times effective, but it does no damage. Right? We go for a Moonblast, we take out the Kyurem. That's incredibly scary. And then I go for a Will-o-the-Wisp on Riolu. That way, you know, I take it out. Or that way it's not a threat at all. He then comes in with Electrode, which is terrifying. Helping Hand on Electrode. We go for the Moonblast. We almost take out the Riolu. But I still, somehow, with the Tailwind, outspeed the Electrode. We take it out with that. And then we easily now can go in and take out the Riolu with Ceruledge. And on this turn, yeah, he goes for the Bullet Punch on Ceruledge. We get the weak armor boost, which is kind of funny. Now we outspeed Ninetales, and we take out Riolu. And, guys, this is why I drafted Ceruledge. Like, I have to say, this whole season, it really disappointed me with how much it did. But it took out what? It took out Rillaboom. It took out Kyurem. No, it didn't take out. It took out Rillaboom. It took out Electrode, it took out Riolu, and I think it took out Sneasler. Did it take out Sneasler? Let's see. Yes. So it took out 4 of the 6 Pokemon in this game, right? And then Ninetales took out the other 2. Well, Ninetales took out 1, and Noivern took out 1, right? Incredible, right? Ceruledge absolutely demolished this this game, and yeah, 5-0. Guys, this not only solidified, well, obviously we already were, had a bye in the semifinals, but we're the #1 team in the league, right? It didn't matter what happened with the other team, because they had already had the same one as us, and even if they got a 6-0, they could not even come close to us, since we had the most differential in the entire league, right? We had the craziest battles. This entire season, there was not a single team that even came close to our differential. So many of the battles this season were so close, except for our battles. Somehow we came through with the highest differential battles in the entire season, right? Like a 6-0 last week, a 5-0 this week. I think we had 4 and 5-0s the rest of the season. It was just really, really crazy. And honestly, Ceruledge really made me happy in this battle. I didn't even have to bring out Ogerpon, didn't even have to bring out Ambipom or SPN. We did the whole battle with only 3 Pokemon. So, yeah, GG's to Lancipoo. I will say that coaching Riolu was great tech, and I got to give him props for that. So yeah. But that is it, guys. That was such a great battle. Last week's battle was a good battle, too. We had some really, really great battles this season in general. This season may have been my favorite season for battles. I will never get over that last season battle against the Ursaluna. I'm so glad it's still up on the channel. Just like the reverse Trick Rooms, calling the Trick Room, it's just some of my best work I've ever done in my entire life with Draft League battles. So if you guys haven't checked that out from last season, you should definitely go check it out. But that is it, guys. That is it. There will not be a battle. Actually, there probably will be a battle next week, because there won't be a battle for me this week. But you guys should be getting these 2 battles up this week, and then next week you guys should get the semifinals and maybe the finals. But spoiler alert, we're fighting the #2 team in the league for semifinals. So he's only been beaten 1 time, and I'm really scared. But we're gonna try our best. But without further ado, guys, that is it from me. So like I say at the end of every video, I really hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. The Nitro General is out. Peace.